first thing Daniel noticed was that the island wasn't supposed to exist. Not on Google Maps. Not on maritime charts. Not even in the outdated navigation system of the rented fishing boat he had borrowed from a man who refused to meet his eyes. And yet, there it was, rising out of the fog like something that had been waiting. It started with a message that shouldn't have been sent. Daniel had been scrolling through his old emails at 2:13 a.m. when he found it. Timestamped 3 days in the future. No sender name. No subject line. Just a single sentence. Don't go to the island. It remembers you. He laughed at first. Spam. Glitch. Maybe a prank. But then he noticed something that made his stomach tighten. At the bottom of the email was a photo attachment. It was him, standing on a beach he had never seen. Daniel was a freelance videographer. His entire career built on documenting strange, unexplained places. Abandoned towns, cursed forests, forgotten ruins. This was perfect. A mystery with proof. He traced the image metadata. GPS coordinates were embedded, though partially corrupted. It led to a stretch of ocean off the coast, empty. No landmass registered. But fishermen in the nearby harbor told a different story. One of them, an older man with trembling hands, finally spoke. Sometimes, he whispered, when the fog rolls in, you can see it. Daniel asked what it was. The man only shook his head. Not something you go looking for. Daniel went anyway. Of course he did. By sunrise, he had rented a small boat and loaded his gear, camera, drone, batteries, satellite phone. The sea was calm. Too calm. Even the birds avoided the area. About 2 hours in, the fog appeared. Not gradually. Instantly. One moment, clear skies. The next, a wall of white swallowing everything. The compass began spinning. The GPS glitched out. And then, the boat engine died. The island revealed itself silently. A dark shape emerging through the mist. Jagged cliffs. Dead trees. No signs of life. But Daniel felt it immediately. That feeling. Like someone was watching him from every direction. He stepped onto the shore, camera rolling. Day 1, he said into the lens. Uncharted island. No visible wildlife. Atmosphere unsettling. The sand felt wrong. Not soft. Almost like stepping on something that resisted. It started as a faint noise. A distant hum. Like someone whispering underwater. Daniel paused. Listened. The sound wasn't coming from one direction. It was everywhere. And it was getting louder. He checked his audio levels, spiking wildly. But when he replayed the footage, nothing. Silence. About 50 meters inland, he saw them. Footprints. Fresh. Leading into the forest. Barefoot. Small. Possibly a child. Daniel followed them, calling out. Hello! No response. The trees were twisted, their branches curling like fingers. The deeper he went, the darker it got. And then he noticed something strange. The footprints were changing. Getting larger. He found it just before sunset. A small wooden cabin. Rotting. Collapsing. But not abandoned. Smoke rose faintly from a chimney that shouldn't have worked. The door was slightly open. Daniel pushed it. Inside. Nothing. No furniture. No dust. No signs of anyone living there. Except for one thing. A mirror. Standing alone against the far wall. Daniel stepped closer. He looked at his reflection. Then froze. Because it didn't move exactly when he did. A delay. A fraction of a second. He lifted his hand. The reflection hesitated. Then followed. Daniel stepped back. The reflection didn't. He left the cabin quickly. Too quickly. The forest felt tighter now. Like it was closing in. By the time he reached the shore, the fog had thickened again. His boat. Gone. Completely gone. No rope. No anchor. No marks in the sand. Just water. That night he heard it clearly. A voice. Calling his name. Soft at first. Then louder. Daniel. He grabbed his camera, turning toward the sound. Endless water. Hello. Silence. Then again. Daniel. This time it came from behind him. He played back the audio. And his blood ran cold. Because the voice wasn't just calling his name. It was repeating something else. Something he hadn't heard before. You already came back. Morning never really came. The sky stayed gray. The sun barely visible. Daniel tried to leave. Walked the shoreline for hours. But every direction led him back to the same spot. The same stretch of sand. The same broken driftwood. The same footprints. His own. He returned to the cabin. This time something had changed. There was writing on the wall. Scratched deep into the wood. Dozens of lines. All the same sentence. It remembers everything. Daniel checked his footage. Hours of recording. But what he saw didn't match his memory. In one clip, he was standing on the beach, talking, smiling, like nothing was wrong. But behind him, something moved. Tall, thin, too long to be human. The email, the photo, the message. It wasn't a warning. It was a memory. Daniel found the final proof buried near the cabin.
Aschalo grave.
Marked by a broken piece of wood. He dug, hands shaking, and uncovered
A camera.
his camera, covered in dirt, corroded, old. Inside it, footage, dated months ago. He pressed play and watched himself. Same clothes, same voice, standing on the island, crying. If anyone finds this, don't come here. It doesn't let you leave. The video cut abruptly, but not before something stepped into frame, standing right behind him, smiling. That night, Daniel understood. The island didn't trap people. It repeated them, every step, every action, every decision, over and over, until there was nothing left to remember. Days passed, or weeks. Time didn't make sense anymore. Daniel stopped recording, stopped speaking, stopped trying to leave, because he already knew what would happen. He had seen it, lived it, before. Somewhere far away in a quiet room, a man checked his email and found a message.
No sender.
No subject, just one line. Don't go to the island. It remembers you. And attached, a photo of himself, standing on a beach, smiling. Because the island isn't lost. It's waiting. The sign was nailed crooked into a dead palm tree, faded, half-rotten, but still readable. Leave before sunset. Mark laughed when he saw it. Perfect, he said, adjusting his camera. Exactly the kind of creepy intro I needed. Behind him, Lena didn't laugh. Why would someone even put that here? She asked quietly. There were no buildings.
No boats. No footprints.
Just the island. And that warning, they weren't supposed to be there long. Just a quick shoot for their YouTube channel, Lost Places. Mark handled filming. Lena handled sound. They had done dozens of locations before. Abandoned hospitals, haunted forests, even a restricted military bunker. Nothing had ever gone wrong. Until now at BY 4:30 p.m. Things already felt off.
No birds. No insects.
No wind. Just silence. Lena checked her recorder. It's picking up something, she said. What? Mark asked. She hesitated. Breathing. They walked along the shoreline, filming. But after 20 minutes, Lena stopped. Mark, didn't we pass that already? He turned. The same broken canoe. Same black rock. Same cluster of dead crabs. They had been walking in a straight line. But somehow, they were back where they started. That's when Mark saw it. Out of the corner of his eye. Something standing between the trees. Tall. Still. Watching. He spun the camera toward it. Nothing. But when he checked the playback later, it was there. Let's just leave, Lena said. But when they reached the shore, their boat was still there. Exactly where they left it. Yet something felt wrong. Mark stepped closer, then stopped. We didn't leave it like this. The rope tying it to the tree was tied from the inside. They argued. Leave now, or stay one more hour for better footage. Mark insisted. Golden hour shots, we can't waste this. Lena didn't like it, but she agreed. That was the mistake. The moment the sun touched the horizon, everything changed. The air dropped cold. The silence broke. And suddenly, the island wasn't empty anymore. Footsteps. Everywhere. Running. Circling them. But no one visible. Lena grabbed Mark's arm. They're close, she whispered. How many? He asked. She shook her head. Too many. Then they appeared. Not all at once. One by one. Between the trees. Dozens of them. Standing still. Watching. Each one looked exactly like Mark. Mark stepped back. What the hell is this? None of them moved, but all of them smiled. At the same time. Then, they ran. Not toward him. Past him. Into the trees. Lena screamed. Don't follow them. But Mark already had. Because one of them was holding his camera. Inside, the island felt bigger. Wrong. Like space stretched too far. Mark chased the figure until it stopped. Standing in a clearing. facing away, slowly, turned, and spoke, in Mark's voice. You stayed too long. Back on the beach, Lena found something buried in the sand. A phone, cracked, old. She turned it on. Still working. Gallery opened automatically. Hundreds of videos. All of them, Mark, running, screaming, dying, over and over. The island didn't create copies. Collected them. Every version, every choice, every possible outcome, all trapped there. Lena ran to the boat, started the engine, didn't look back. As she pulled away, she saw Mark standing on the shore, smiling, waving, but behind him, hundreds more, doing the same. She never uploaded the footage, because in every clip, there was one extra figure, standing behind her, after sunset. Captain Riaz had been sailing for 27 years. He knew tides like clockwork, but this wasn't possible. The water rose, then fell, then rose again, all within minutes, and in the middle of it, an island appeared. There were 4 of them. Riaz, captain, Imran, navigator, Sahil, engineer, and Bilal, youngest. They had never seen this island before, but Bilal spoke first. I've seen this place, he whispered. Everyone turned. Where? Riaz asked. Bilal looked pale. In my dream, the boat drifted closer, engine off, yet moving, as if something beneath the water was pulling them in. The moment they stepped onto land, the tide vanished. The ocean pulled back unnaturally far, leaving their boat stranded in wet sand. Riaz cursed. We leave now, but it was already too late. The ground was covered in symbols, carved deep, circles, lines, repeating patterns. Imran recognized them. These are old, he said. Ancient. Bilal shook his head. No, they're not old. They're waiting. Sahil vanished first. One moment walking behind them. Next, gone. No sound.
No trace.
Just empty air. They heard him next. From the ocean. Calling. Help me. Sahil's voice. Riaz ran toward the shore, but the water was too far away, at least half a mile out, and still, the voice was clear, right beside them. Then Sahil walked out of the water, completely dry, smiling. I'm fine, he said, but something was wrong. His eyes didn't blink. Without warning, the water rushed back. Fast, violent, too fast to escape. It swallowed the shore, engulfed their boat, and covered the island. For a moment, everything was silent, blue, still, and beneath them, shapes, huge, moving, watching. Imran realized it first. This isn't an island, he whispered. What do you mean? Riaz asked. Imran pointed down. It's breathing. The ground shifted, softened, like flesh. The symbols began to glow, and Sahil started laughing, his mouth opened too wide, too far, and something inside him moved, trying to get out. Riaz grabbed Bilal. Run! They reached higher ground as the water receded again, leaving Sahil behind, still standing, still smiling. At the center of the island, they found a massive hole, pulsing, breathing, and inside it, hundreds of bodies, half absorbed, still alive. Bilal screamed. I saw this in my dream. Riaz asked, what happens next? Bilal looked at him, terrified. You don't wake up. When the tide came in again, the island disappeared, along with everyone on it, except one thing. A voice, carried across the water, calling new sailors closer.